Oh, my fellow parents, it hurts so much. It hurts so much when our kids say no, when they defy us, when they don't cooperate, when they just don't listen to simple things, that we tell them to do. It drives me nuts, even as a parenting coach, a professional parent in some sense. It is so hard because defiance doesn't work well in any type of team or group unit. Defiance does not work on a sports team. Like, the players are supposed to obey and listen to the coach. If they don't, you have madness. That team's going to suck. They're not going to win games. In a business, if you got a couple employees that are going rogue, they're going against what the vibe of the business is supposed to do, that is not going to go well. In an army, they teach these soldiers to obey and don't ask any questions. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And just like in all these other group human structures, a family needs to have order, it needs to have authority, it needs to have harmony, working together. But oh my gosh, it is so tough. And we need good parenting tools in our parenting toolboxes, which are invisible. I can't see yours, you can't see mine. We need good tools. How do we respond with a no child, with a resistant child, with a kid who doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to cooperate, doesn't want to care? Oh my gosh, the no is so hard. But hey, here's good news. Here's some good news. No's are amazing things. In fact, some of the world's greatest events in the history of humanity, in the history of our own personal lives, they only occurred because somebody said no. Some of these strong-willed kids that you have in your house, they might be crazy buttheads right now, driving you nuts. They might be hurting you now, but some of these kids are going to be amazing adults. They're going to be tough, strong leaders in their homes, leaders in their communities, leaders in their churches, leaders in the government. They are going to be strong people, where they stand up for what's right and be able to say no and mean it and have the backbone and the way to rally people behind them. You know what? This is not new. Once upon a time, a bunch of people said no. They said no to some king. This king wanted to pay us freaking taxes over there, and we're like, no, we live in America. You live across this pond, and you want us to give you this money, so you buy these freaky weird white wigs that you wear, you weird English people. And the Americans, they said, no, we're not doing that. A long time soon after that, a bunch of people said, no to slavery. It's stupid. This is evil. This is horrible. No way. In fact, this is not just one or two. A bunch of people, a bunch of white people, a bunch of colored people signed up for an army, and they walked about 1,000 miles south to die to fight for slavery, to say no against it. I hate this, and I will give my life for that. That is a no. You know what? When I order a burger, I get my burger quick sometimes. And back in the day, some people, we had to wait for a burger. And you know what people said? They said, no, I don't want to wait. I'm going to go to this place where they got these golden arches, and my burger's going to come up fast. And because somebody said no, now we get quick burgers. You know what? Once upon a time, this one lady, she was tough. She said, I don't want to sit in the back of the bus. That's stupid. I don't want to sit in the back of the bus. I want to sit wherever I want with my beautiful colored dress, and I want to be treated like a lady. I want to be treated with respect. I'm a human being. And this tough lady, she said, no, I ain't moving. I'm not moving. And awesome things happened. You know what? Here's the thing. One time, this one girl, I don't know her, but I know this happened. She's a little girl and this little boy, and they found this alien creature. And this alien creature was ended up hiding in their house area, and they moved it into the closet in their bedroom. They did. These kids moved a creature, and they hid it in the closet. And at first they were scared, but then they weren't scared because the alien creature was blending into their stuffed animals and stuff. And then they became best friends with the alien creature. And then the government was like, oh, we don't like aliens. We want to kill the cat. We need that alien. We need to do tests on it. And these kids are like, no way. You're going to take my alien friend. They got on their BMX bikes with the one little basket on the front, and they went on a bike ride. And they went, and the alien creature was dope. They even made the bikes fly. They even flew up to the moon. They were flying so good, all because they said no. And you know what? I hate shopping, especially clothes shopping. You know what? I don't really shop anymore. You know what? I said, no, I don't go shopping. You know why? Because I pick up my little phone, and there's a little app on there about an app. I think they made it out of the South American jungles where they made it. And you can just use your fingers, and you can buy whatever you want. You just got to say no to shopping because it sucks. And then you know what I used to love? I used to go to Blockbuster Video. So fun. You used to buy your VHSs and you would watch them with your friends, but I don't do that no more. I said, no, I'm not doing that. Why? Because now I can just go on my little app and I can go on these little apps and I can get whatever I want. Sometimes no is a beautiful thing. One of my greatest choices in life is I said no. I went on this date with this girl, and on paper, oh my gosh, she was like the perfect girl. I was like, early mid-20s. I was thinking about getting married. On paper, this girl was awesome. It was like a great fit for me. Went on a date. After the date, took her to a fancy place. Thing was TGI Fridays. After the date, I went in, got a kiss at the doorstep. It was, Jordan, it was bad. It was a horrible kiss. No chemistry, bro. No chemistry. I think we even clanked teeth, man. It was so bad. And one of the greatest decisions of my life is I said, am I going to call her back again? The answer, it was nope. Not calling her back. Soon after that, I fell in love with this amazing woman named Danielle Minnie, who ended up becoming my wife of 19 years. Oh, sometimes the best decisions of life is when someone says no, Jordan.
Got to give a round of applause. Sean Donohue, ladies and gentlemen, with the interesting and very intriguing monologue there of the power of no. Now, with the exception of your ET influence, which I loved, by the way, ET, phone home, flying the kids up, most of these no's and the examples that you have given are from adults, are from people who have had some life experiences. Okay. Now, when a kid gives us a no, they don't really know what they're saying no to. They're just saying no. They're defying. So there's this separation between no being good and no being extremely problematic to the family. And more importantly, to me, because I'm going to snap. If you freeloader sitting here with no job, no responsibility, are going to say no to me after everything I've done for you, that is not okay.
No.
Now, to be honest, there are some things that I have been, as an adult, very proud of to say no to. But you know what my weakness is?
Tell me.
My number one weakness is to something I cannot say no to.
Ooh,
I don't know why it is, bro.
Juicy. What is it? Okay.
It is a warm chocolate chip cookie. I cannot say no. Everyone's got a weakness. That's my kryptonite, bro. I will bake. The kids will ask me to bake cookies for them. I'll eat the whole thing, all the cookies. I will not give any to them kids because they got to be warm. They got to be right out of the oven. I'll go to town. I'll gain 10 pounds. I'll feel terrible about myself. But when it comes to no, that's the one thing I cannot say no to.
People always talk about chocolate chip cookies, but I had a warm chocolate chip cookie 4 days ago. Warm is like 1,000 times better than regular, dude.
No, you have to have it warm, man. Right out of the oven. Gooey.
It's so much better.
It's my kryptonite.
Do you have a favorite chocolate chip? Because, I'll usually just go Costco, which is pretty solid. Do you have a brand, or is it just like anything?
No, I have to bake them myself, right? The Nestle Toll House, the bake myself chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, those are good.
But if I am gonna shout out a company, there's a company called Tips Treats. They do a pretty good job with cookies.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of just the local bakeries or the pastry places. It's just so much better than anything else when you get a good cookie or a good thing of ice cream or candy, Yeah.
So that's obviously tongue in cheek. We're kind of being light, but the reality is when we hear the word no, is it a trigger? Is it a problem? Why is it a problem? Why is it such a big deal? So we need to figure out ways to get through to our kids. I'm speaking as a father. I got 2 9-year-olds. When they say no, I get very frustrated. I'm sure when kids are teenagers and they say no, that's even more of a frustration. So we got to figure out how to battle this. We need your help.
Well, let's do it because it's a pretty serious issue. Because when two partners, they disagree on parenting, it can create so many problems. And when you have a no child or a very defiant or resistant child, or a child just says no or talking back, if you have two parents in the house, you're going to get 2 different reactions. And wouldn't you agree, Jordan? Really hard in a marriage.
Very hard. I will get extremely upset if my kids are saying no to my wife. And, I would say my wife will take it. and just be like, all right, I'll do it or whatever. And I'm like, that is not okay. We have to set up a defining line here. Like you can't, we cannot allow this. And so there is difference when it comes to that, but that's just one example. I mean, there are multiple examples where parenting needs to get on the same page. When I first started parenting, I was going to do it a completely different way than my wife wanted to do it. We had to like learn. It's almost like that first kiss you had with that girl, the teeth clanking and everything.
I don't want to talk
awkwardness.
about it,
Okay, we'll move on. We won't bring it up. But you are learning how to be with someone else. Okay. Think of a first marriage. You're learning how to live cohesively with another subject. And now you have kids and you're learning how to parent together. And sometimes there's history there. There's, parental influences on each side that can really make things confusing for you guys as parents. And then it harms the marriage.
It sure does. In fact, we were chatting before we hit record on this, and I felt, I didn't tell you this at the time you said it, but actually what you said I thought was so brilliant. I now want to surprise you and put it into our podcast. I'm going to give you all 4 pointers, 4 action steps on how to thrive with the no child, with a lot of no's. But Jordan, I'm going to take your point and make it action point number 5. Can you tell us what you said to me? You were talking about how you've actually adapted your parenting style because of your wife, because she doesn't want you to parent a certain way. She wasn't comfortable with it. Do you remember you saying that to me pre-show?
Well, yeah. I mean, so me growing up, okay, we're in this influence where, I would be flicked in the mouth, or if I, washed out with soap if I said a curse word. If I was really bad, I would get a spanking, right? And so you have that life experience, and then you go to being a parent, and do you bring that life experience into your parenting? Well, with my wife, she didn't have that, and she didn't want to do that. And when my kids were really problematic, I would immediately want to go to that as the answer. But it was very uncomfortable for her. So I had to bring back my steam and try and figure out a new method of how to parent it, which is, it takes longer to do, but you have to learn to do it, because if you don't, I don't know what's going to happen. You have 2 different parenting methods. That's not healthy in any relationship.
Oh, it's gonna hurt the marriage. It's gonna lead to a divorce. It's gonna lead to a chaotic, painful home. So let's learn from Jordan's wisdom here. Action step number 5: rely on and trust the wisdom of your co-parent. I've learned a lot from you, and I just learned something just in talking to you about this, because the way you articulate some things just brings a light to my mind, and I can really see you doing that, like kind of submitting to your own wife's leadership, asking her questions, trusting in her. And this is something we need to do, because a lot of spouses and couples, they don't do this, Jordan. They don't lean into their co-parent. They don't trust them. They don't trust their wisdom. But this person, this adult that you had these kids with, they have wisdom. They have good things to offer. And it's not about you versus them. Your mindset, my training, my coaching for you is, it's not you versus them. It's you two versus the problem.
Right. Well, and you go from the feminine parent versus the masculine parent. There's just, we're 2 different beings, right? One's more emotional, one's more, let's say, physical or logical. And so there's already that disconnect. So you've got to really figure out a way to handle it together. And more times than not, we'll have to talk about it after the fact. Let's say an event comes up. We have to come in and be like, well, this is what I want to do. And then we have to go into a little bit of not a fight, but a talk. That can get heated to figure out the right answers for next time.
Well, what you just did there, I'm just going to be your hype man, like how how Usher has like Lil Jon, like, I'm going to be your hype man. Okay. I'm just going to, you say something, I'm going to hype it. Like what you just did there was actually incredibly wise. What you just said was, what I do sometimes, Sean, is instead of reacting in the moment, I will go have a argument or a talk with my wife, and we will powwow over how we're going to approach this. Brilliant parenting. We don't want to be these reactive parents. And what some people do, and if you do this, stop it, is you just react to your kids. And then it sets off a whole train of emotion, a whole steam train, where it might be now pushing your spouse's buttons because you just reacted and they don't support that. You just parented and they don't support it. And then your kid doesn't like it because you're doing reactive parenting and all this stuff's just steaming. You're creating a big sauna in your house and you did it.
And don't think that I'm any kind of saint because, I mean, if we were to really get into it, if I were to be honest with you, there's been times when I've had one of my kids say no to me so much to where I've had to say, listen, if you say no to this one more time, I'm going to get up and I'm going to physically put you into this place.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, no. And then I walk with an ankle in hand, dragging the child on the floor while they're kicking and
ankle in hand.
Ankle in hand.
Upside down child.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that they could go to their bedroom, you know? And
like
it's like,
it.
if you're not, I gave you the warning, but like there have been those times and it hasn't been the smartest thing to do, but I just got to a point where I snapped. And I think a lot of us are maybe to a point where those no's can make us snap.
I'm gonna give you all 4 really wise action steps, positive parenting action steps to how do we respond to the no child. Now, here's a couple things before we get into it. One, this podcast episode is not for defiant children. I know that I kind of joked about that before, but if you have a serious pattern of defiance, you need more than this podcast. This podcast will help. You need more tools in that toolbox. If you have an ODD, oppositional defiant disorder situation, then you need more. You need this, and then you need more. So the type of teaching you'll see here are just for like your very kind of typical child. It could be neurotypical situation or typical, where there's just a pretty regular pattern of no or lack of cooperation. And these things I think are really, really going to help when you have extreme no's. But when you're talking about defiance, Jordan, did I do a good job of trying to draw a line between the two different things?
These are just some basic tips for us to get started. But if you've got something that's out of the ordinary, this is a good place to start, but you got to dive deeper, obviously.
Yeah, and if you do have defiance in your home, then I really, really recommend you book a private session with me, and I will listen to your situation. I will give you specific action steps on do's and don'ts for your specific situation, for that child's specific neurological compilation, as well as their age is very important when you're dealing with defiance, because it's just very important. Let's move on. So before we do this, let's celebrate for a second.
Okay.
Can I celebrate?
Celebrate good times.
The Instagram page, my Family Coach Instagram page is now at 150,000 followers.
Hey, yo.
Wow. Really recently. It keeps growing quite a bit by the day. And here's something really interesting. I've been posting videos on Facebook for a long time, Jordan, like 4 years. And they've never really caught on with the followers there. Like I have I think last time I checked, I had like 2,000 followers versus on TikTok where you have 500.
Different audience.
I don't understand why, but then
algorithm.
I was on my phone. Was that 2 nights ago? And I looked, and my Facebook followers are right around 100,000.
Wow, that's
I know.
Okay.
I was
bots.
Like,
they're all the bots, dude.
No, man. You're being a hater. No, I'm just celebrating that, but I kind of felt a little emotional and weird about it because one of my videos has 1,000 comments, and I don't have the time to read all these comments. I didn't know people were posting these comments. People were asking me questions, and people were saying some things, but I don't know if you know this, but this is very important because let me tie in social media to this episode. Okay, Jordan, I've mentioned this to you before, but did you know that I get a lot of hate and negativity on social media?
I see it.
I mean, this one man this morning he specifically private messaged me, and he said, "You are a disgrace to all men all over the world. I feel sorry for you."
Wow.
Yeah, like he says, you are soft and it shows. Like some of the things that people type are things like, do you even have children? Like you're the reason I'm actually reading these out loud. I'm looking at my phone right now. Spare the rod, spoil the child. As a child, I was spanked, and so were many. There was 8 of us, and each one of us are good, abiding citizens, homeowners, retired. Who respects and loves our parents? So, and numerous things like, I don't care if my kid doesn't like me. You're the problem here. Another person says, a kid who doesn't fear or know any type of consequences of their actions is a kid who will do exactly what they please, even if it's extremely dangerous. And so
I think that's the thing to celebrate. You know you've made it when you get this many complaints. You know you're causing change. Listen, everybody hates change, right? There's no reason. Like, you're
Oh.
not saying you can't do what some of those other people have done in the past. That's fine. This is just a different alternative way to do it. All right. Pick the way you want to go, be the best parent you can be, and move on. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. This is the way they're choosing to raise their kids.
Like in a second, we're going to talk about empathetic limits. And I think a lot of parents nowadays are very, very good with limits, but not with empathy. It's like, I should have to say no once to my child and then
Right.
you obey. I don't know
Right.
what you're doing over there, but my kids fear me and they do not talk back to me. I tell them one time, but it makes me wonder, do you know anything about child psychology, family dynamics? Do you know how the child feels that they don't feel comfortable or safe talking back to their parents or arguing with them? Like if our kids are arguing or disrespecting you, here's a different perspective. Why do they do that? Why do your kids act like little angels outside the house, but then in the inside of the house, they disrespect you?
Right.
Well, here's where it could be because they love you. They feel safe around you. You are their person.
Right.
And the reason why they don't act that way out in the real world is because they have a good parent. You've trained them about do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs, but they can be imperfect around you because they love you and they feel close to you. Right?
Beautiful. That's what we want. Yeah. Now, we don't have time to get into all the responses, but I would say just don't respond onto those comments on social media and let that just kind of
I don't.
go into the wayside.
Danielle was asking me last night, does that ever bother you? Does it get under your skin? I would say not at all. I love it. I get to learn, actually. This is how other people
Listen,
respond.
everybody can be powerful behind a keyboard, but it's when you have the face-to-face conversations that you can actually talk about it. And maybe that's something we do down the road. We have someone come on who's old school, and we'll just talk about different methods, and we'll see what's best. But congratulations on all the follow. The one thing I want to point out about that is for people that are responding and they want to maybe get their message read, since you have a lot going on, is there a different method for them to figure that out?
Yeah, there is we do have a Google phone number, Jordan, that people can go to my website and they can click on that Google phone number. It can leave us a message that we can consider adding your voice into the podcast, or you could even join us and have a free parent coaching session with Jordan and I here on the podcast, and we'll record it and make an episode out of it so you can get what you want, which is some good tips and some good tools, and then we can share that juicy, fun episode with everybody. So click on my website, parentingmodernteens.com, and then go to podcast and subscribe, follow, contact us. All right, Jordan, let's get it. Here's 5 great tips. We've already done number 5. Rely on the wisdom of your co-parent and adjust your parenting to create a win-win vibe in your home. Because if you're the type of parent
that's a team,
overly submitting, and you feel like the other parent is doing all the parenting, and you've just been squelched, you've been manipulated, you've been shunned, well, you've got a problem to solve. Do something about it, because it's good and it's normal to have 2 different types of parenting in a home. Even my wife and I have we're not totally aligned on every single topic, but I submit to her. I respect her. She submits to me. We mutually respect each other, and that's okay. It totally makes sense, right?
I mean, there's been times where we'll be in a situation with our kids and I'll do something and my wife will give me the look and I'll look right back and say, I'll like mouth to her, like, I'm trying something. Let me see how this will work. And she'll trust me and be like, okay, let's see. And then we try it out.
I like that, man. Really well said. All right. So our number 1 action step, what do we do when our child says, no, I will not brush my teeth. I will not get in the car. I will not obey you. I will not stop vaping. I will not study. I will not do what you want me to do. Number 1 step is what many people have said. This is actually the number 1 thing for all parents. It's not my number 1, but some people teach this. This is the number 1 thing. Jordan, we've got to self-regulate our emotions. We have to manage our emotions so they do not manage us.
So we get into a situation, we're asking the kids to do something, they say no, and we're supposed to just be like, take it, self-regulate, take a second maybe? Is that what you're saying? Think about how we want to react?
Yeah, you've actually already given us a lot of examples how you've done that. Even with that whole, like, when you glanced at your wife, what you did is you calmed yourself down. You took a second, you glanced at her, and you got her blessing. can I try something new? Now, some people would say, you don't need your wife's blessing to parent. Be a freaking man, you sissy. Right? But this is what good co-parenting is about. It's about teamwork. It's about managing your emotions. And she must have managed her emotion because she gave you the eye candy of that blessing back in that moment.
Yeah, another thing I'll do too is let's say we ask a question. Hey, will you take out, or I need you to take out the trash.
Ooh, yeah.
No. Excuse me? And then they'll be like, no, sir. Thank you for that. Thank you for the sir, but that's not what I was looking for right here.
In that moment, which is going to happen, if your kids feel safe around you, they will say no to you sometimes. They're not going to be like you. They're not your little bonsai trees. If you're a high achiever that is all about pushing themselves, well, get ready because your kids are not like you. They may not be a high achiever. If you're all about hygiene and cleanliness, well, get ready. Your kid may not be as into hygiene. If you're really into your faith and your spirituality, well, get ready. They may say, no, I'm not like you. What are you going to do? The first thing you do is to talk to yourself. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I afraid of? What am I going through? And if you come up with cheesy words like I feel angry or frustrated or annoyed, or then I would just challenge you, say, get to know yourself, right? Get to know yourself and come up with better words, bigger words than those words.
It makes sense. I like it. But the problem is if you do that self-regulating and you're still getting nowhere with your kid. So I'll wait to bring up examples like when we get to the other steps, but like,
well, yeah, that's not
the
that's
initial
step
no.
one.
That's step one. That's the initial no.
Think of it this way: before you talk to your kids, do you like this? I like this. I say this to myself sometimes, and this is part of self-regulation. Is how do you talk to yourself? Are you letting stupid stuff run through your mind, like these kids are going to kill me? I have such a disrespectful kid.
Right.
I can't do anything right. They're so out of control. I'm a bad parent. I need to fix this. I need to respond. I can't let them get away. If you're going to counsel yourself with that garbage, you need to fire a counselor.
Yeah. And that counselor's in between right up here in your head. So you got to figure out how to give yourself better pep talks in that moment.
Let me a couple of things that you pep to yourself with. I can't talk, but I can pep talk myself. I say to myself, I cannot parent. I cannot control this child, but I can control myself. I say to myself, what should I do in this moment right now? I say to myself, just pray and think about what I should do. I also say to myself, you know what? This is the time for you to act like the adult in the relationship and get yourself straight before you say anything. Essentially, what I'm teaching you all is talk to yourself before you talk to your children. What do you think about that?
I think that's great when you're not in a rush and you have time. This would happen over many no's, I'm sure, because it's like, hey, get in the car. You're late for school. No. Hey, go brush your teeth. We got to go to bed. No. There are some things where it's like, we got to do this now. I don't have time to.
Well, good news. I got
reflect.
tools for those exact situations. Now, action step number 2 is something that I've alluded to in this episode and in previous episodes. If you are a parent, I think empathetic limits need to be in your top 10 parenting toolbox. I challenge you, I evoke you, I beg of you, become really good at parenting. Let that become your new, empathy. Try to let that become your new default. How you respond with empathy. Now, here's the thing about empathy is some parents are really good with empathy. Some modern parents, they read a lot of parenting books. They listen to podcasts like this, gentle parenting, conscious parenting. They're really good, but they aren't good at, what would you say? Yeah, man, they're good at empathy, but they suck at the limits, right? Jordan, check your microphone. Do me a favor, check your microphone because you kind of went lower with the microphone with that last sharing. I don't know if it became disconnected. I think I can still hear you, so we're still good. And I know Amanda will edit that part out. Okay. You want to do a sound test? Sound test? Do a sound test. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. I love what you just said. Empathetic limits mean being good at the limits and at the empathy and the limits. There is a time and a place to say no. There's a time and a place to say, get your butt in the car. We're going fishing. There's a time and a place to say, no, you can't have 5 scoops of ice cream. And we're not talking about your feelings anymore. Right? So Jordan, tell me more about the limits. Yes, positive, good parenting is about being tough and strong and saying no and being and manage your emotions if that's hard for you to see your kid having a temper tantrum. Tell me more about that. Oh, good. Yeah. I had a really good moment with you last week. We were talking about this week's episode, and you were talking like this, just about being a strong parent. Sometimes I pick up my kid upside down by one ankle, and I got a little affected by that for about 5 seconds, like in a bad way. I was like, oh my gosh, is Jordan gonna like be too extreme on this? But then what I realized is no, like so many parents nowadays, they're bombarded with these gentle parenting messages, even from people like me. And we've got to balance this out. It's called empathetic limits. And why that lasted only 5 seconds is because I had a thought. I want to say that thought to you and I want to see how you respond, okay? What would happen if your child, you have your twins, they're 9, if they came hard at you at age 4 with a no, and you just pampered them and you let them make their decisions at age 4, what messages would you be sending them about you, about them, about their power, about family, about authority, about parenting, if you were to just to accept that? Oh, ooh. Which one part? Oh, okay. Oh, the kids. I talked to my daughter about those movies just a few days ago. Veruca Salt, rock band from the 90s about it. Oh, horrible kid. Horrible kids. Now, oh, that kid is so horrible. Can you hear this? Dude, that's a dope rock song from the 90s called See There. It's so good. I grew up on that. So, yeah, please, I cut you off for that great song, right? So, tell me more about Willy Wonka kids. Hmm. Oh my gosh. It's like there's this movement of parenting which is very gentle. It can be very deceptive because it can sound like I don't want to squelch my kid's spirit. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to traumatize them. I want them to be freed to explore and to be who they want to be. And that sounds flowery and hallmarky and Instagrammy, but the reality is kids need boundaries. They need to hit the side of the pool. They need a parent to be the parent, to say, no, I'm not going to support this. This sounds unhealthy. This sounds not good for you. No, I will not enable this lifestyle. But a lot of parents, they can't do this because they're so emotionally traumatized or so emotionally unhealthy. They have a hard time saying no to their kids, man. I see it. Hmm. Lots of more reasons. Or they feel like their co-parent was so authoritarian and so harsh. Now they are overcompensating by being overly yes or empathetic, or they were raised in a very abusive, authoritarian, strong-willed home where they were told no constantly and they were traumatized. And now they're trying to reverse the pain and the damage, but they've gone too far. I, I mean, I see this. I can't share any details about the clients that I work with, but I have a new client and he's got 3 children. One has got ADHD, one is a tween who's got OCD, and one's a teenager and he's on the spectrum with high functioning autism. And these parents tell me, Jordan, are you ready for this? That the 3 children are violent towards the parents. Violent. Mm-hmm. Well, here's a question. Everybody answer this question. Do you think these 3 children are violent outside the home? Just wondering, what do you think? Just take a random guess. Yeah, the answer is no, they are not violent outside the home. That's pretty typical. They do exist. There are children who are violent outside the home and in the home. Very rare though. Very, very rare. And usually that's a different topic. But if you have violence in the home, hitting each other, hitting siblings, cussing each other out, in this situation, it feels so bad. The story is that the 2 older kids are especially violent towards the younger, verbally abusive, and they're violent towards their own parents. So what would happen in a house? Why do you think it exists? I don't know for sure yet either, but I can tell you I work with a lot of violence in the home. There is patterns, there are tools. But take a wild guess, just an outsider who's just hearing this story for the first time. Why are the kids violent towards their parents? They're hitting them, throwing things at them, shooting Nerf guns at their faces, like cussing them out. And these are a child, a tween, and a teenager. What is going on in that house? What's your take? Nope. It's allowed. It's allowed. So can I sit on that point? You're right. Why is it allowed? Why is it allowed? Why is it allowed? Because they do it because they're allowed to do it. Yeah, maybe. Others, it's like, why else? What's your theory? It's kind of nice hearing your theories because I don't know for sure either. I just have my guesses. Oh, that's deep. So that's really good. I can. I think that's a very good psychological theory. I'd rather have my kids let out their aggression and their violence in the home versus outside the house. Really good. Why else is it allowed? What's your theory? Why would you allow violence in your home? Hmm. 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 It is what it is. You want it. You want it. Kids will be kids. Kids will be kids. You're going to be violent. This is what you're going to get. This is your choice. You made these choices. I've already told you to not do it. You've brought this on yourself. Mm-hmm. So many good insights there and so many reasons. But the thing is that every home needs limits. This home needs limits. And how you do limits really matters. Instead of just saying no means no, here's a couple tools for empathetic limits. Hey, I know that's really important to you. I can see that. Yeah, I like doing that too. I can't do that for you right now, but I maybe another time. How about this one? You know what? Tell me, why do you want to do this? Yeah, I can see. You validate them. Yeah, that does sound really yummy. Yeah, we can't do that right now, but can we do something else instead? Okay. No, I can't do that for you, but I know this is important to you and you're important to me. So, can we think of something else? Can we get creative? Right? Or how about no for no, but we can do this again the next time? Right. I know. Tell me more. Right. Because if somebody were to tell you no on something that's really important to you, would you rather just have them say no, or would they rather say it in a gentle way or give you another way, give you something else that you want? Mhm. Yeah, let's figure out a way. Yeah, but sometimes you can't figure out a way. Like, we've come up in this podcast. You're not ready to give your kids an iPhone at age 9. Here's another tool: empathy with hope. I know it's really hard for you. We don't allow music with cuss words in the house. I get it. You like that music. I know. I don't blame you. Some of it is good music, but I can't allow that in the house. But you know what? When you're older, when you're like a senior in high school, we can talk about you having music with cuss words in the house, right? Or you know what? I know this is hard for you, but in this house, this is how we are. But just hang tight. I don't want this topic to become between us. I don't want us arguing about vape. I don't want vape to destroy this family. I don't want cell phones to destroy this family. I don't want schoolwork to come between us. I love you too much for that. No. Well, how can I help? Let you drop out of school? Oh, you want to become a professional video game player at age 13? I'm not ready for that right now, but I know you love your games. I know this is hard. I know school is hard, but let's get creative. Maybe we can get you a tutor. Maybe we can change your school. Maybe we can change some things around. Let's figure this out together. You see the empathetic vibe of the problem solving, right? Right. Now here's for some of you skeptics, here's a few things. There's science-based research about how empathy solves problems. It really does. Empathy helps people feel connected, helps people feel seen. And when people feel seen and when they feel heard, when your children feel seen and heard, guess what? They diffuse. They don't always nag you over and over or hound you or whine or have an episode or act out. Why? Because they feel seen and heard. That's the power of empathy, right? Yes. Yeah, there's a saying that I was taught when I first started working with kids, Jordan. It goes like this: they don't care they don't care what you know until they know that you care. Yeah, man. Now, I alluded to point number 3 next is something I'm very into this. In your top 10 parenting tools, put this tool in your box, use it as much as you can. Use it. We've already used it here. I call it shared problem solving. Shared problem solving. Everyone in your life, man. This is a parenting podcast. So I'm going to give you some tips for how this might sound. Say, no, we can't buy you that extra thing at Legos. We do have to get going. We're in Target or in Walmart and they're having a meltdown because they want you to buy them a toy or a Lego. Say, yeah, I know it's great. I love Legos too, but we're not going to buy them today. So what should we do about this? I want you to buy it. I can't buy it. Well, why not? Well, because we have to go and I don't have a budget to buy Legos. So what should we do about this? I don't know. Well, I mean, should we keep talking about this? Do you want to just argue here? No. Right? Or how about this? Hey, we got a problem to solve. Yeah, I'm not ready to have you do sleepovers yet. Well, I'm 14. I feel like I'm old enough. Yeah, just based on where we're at, we're not ready to do sleepovers. But, it's hard. I know it's hard. All my friends have sleepovers, right? I can get it. I can see why you're upset. How does this sound? Why don't we talk about this next year when you're 15 and we'll see if we all feel better about it? Oh, I have to wait till then. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a problem to solve together. You want sleepovers. We don't want to have sleepovers. So let's put our heads together and solve this. Well, why can't you just, you sure can. You sure can. Yes, you sure can. Yes, absolutely. Get into the why. And that would be a good example of why I'm not ready for sleepovers. Maybe you're afraid of sexual assaults, or maybe you were assaulted or kidnapped. Yes, but the focus is not on the why for this episode. It's on that and go engaging their minds. And instead of saying no, just say shared problem solving. Here's a couple tips. I was sitting by the lake right by our house 3 nights ago, Jordan, with my wife, all of our kids, and 2 other families, and we're sitting on the lake having a picnic. You got it? You got the vision? Beautiful. The sun was going down. This is a walk from my doorstep. We've got kids on paddle boards. We've got kids frolicking. We've got kids just like hanging out. I got fishing poles in the water. And my 6-year-old says to me, Dad, come play with me, because no one's playing with her. Right? And I'm sitting here and I'm relaxing. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer by Athletic, a new non-alcoholic, because I've been sober for 8 months. I'll tell you that story another time. And guess what I said to her? She said, Dad, can you come play with me? What did I say? But I'm not going to play with her. I'm having an intentional dinner where we're checking in our marriages, our mental health. Oh, this is a serious once a month intentional gathering we have with a few other family friends, deep, good, close friends. And she wanted me to come play. So I said to her, I'll give you a hint. The first thing I said is, I can't swim now, but I'll swim later. So then about 15 minutes later, the 6-year-old says, Dad, are you coming? Come swimming. You want to guess what I said then? Yes. I said very similar to that. Listen to the phrasing. I said, yes, I am going to be swimming with you. It's going to be super fun. I can't swim right now, but it's coming. So here's a tip. Don't say no to your kids. You don't need it. No triggers people. You can say no if you want. Go ahead. You're a freaking parent. Say no. But there's a different way. Instead of saying, no, I'm not swimming, say yes. Can I have 5 scoops of ice cream? No, not today, but on other days you can. Really? Yeah. Can I buy this Lego set? Yeah, we can figure out a way. Can I buy it today? Not today, but yeah, we'll get you a Lego set. When? Well, your birthday's coming up. Christmas, Easter, let's save some money. Mow the lawn versus no. I said no. We have to go. You say one more word, we're leaving here right now, and you're not going to go to your friends, right? Just soft, put a little sugar and spice on there. You're good at that, man. I see you do this with me and with people all the time. You do it all the time. Yeah. Yep. Ooh. Oh, green light. Is it called green light? They actually contacted me to do an ad for them and do a thing. So maybe they'll become a sponsor, because I didn't get back to them because I just wasn't in the mood, and I ghosted them, which is stupid because now they could have been a sponsor. All right. So here's some more tips. These are very typical tips. A lot of people talk on these tips. Instead of saying no, just give your kid choices. Hey, here's what we can't buy the Lego right now, but we can go do this instead. How about I go home and we play Legos? Hey, you know what? I can't let you vape in this house right now. This is a no. This is a non-vaping house. But I know this is really tempting for you. So why don't we figure out a way for you to, we'll do this instead. Or when you get tempted to vape, we're going to do this instead. I want us to be close, and I want to help figure out a way for you to know you can talk to me about your temptations. I know that's like kind of an extreme touchy one. I wish I could kind of go back on that because vaping is so intense to me, but you get where I'm going with this. Like, hey, here's some more tips for you is when you go into a place where you know there's going to be conflict, whether it be, having Thanksgiving dinner with the relatives, whether you're going to a sports game, if you have a no child or a no, you want to be very futuristic. Help them visualize, hey, here's what's going to happen. So tomorrow, we're all going to go to the cherry festival. Okay. Say, I don't want to go. Say, I don't want to go. Right. And I know. I don't blame you. A lot of 15-year-olds don't want to go to the cherry festival. I get it. But this is important to your mom, and this is a family outing. So we're all going. Okay. I know it's hard. And I got to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that I do with you, I don't like doing it. I don't like always going to your lacrosse games, man. But I do it because I love you. And I do these things at the cherry festival because this is important to mom. So, yeah. Yeah. So I'm just trying to help you visualize what's going to go down tomorrow, okay? This is what's going to happen, then this is what's going to happen. All right, let's say you have a child who's very impulsive. We're talking very young, 8 and younger. Here's how you can project consequences. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to Target right now. Can I look at the toys? Yeah. We're going to look at the toys for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay. I'm going to set a timer on my phone. And when we get 5 minutes away, I'm going to tell you got 5 minutes. Okay. Sounds like a good plan. Can I trust you that when we're done with the 20 minutes that we're going to move on? Yes, Dad, you can trust me. Okay. Can you tell me that I can trust you? Me trust the toys, Dad. No. Can I trust you? Yes, I trust you, Dad. No. Can I trust you? Right. So here's what's going to happen. If you end up making a scene or crying, or you know how to cry, should take that back. If you make a scene and you say no when it's time to go, then there's going to be consequences. Okay. It means when you come home, this is what's going to happen. Right. And we may not be able to go to Target the next time for 20 minutes. So I don't want to do consequences, but do you understand that's what's going to go down? Okay. And then help them heads up and help them visualize. You spending 2 minutes to help your kid visualize Target or visualize visualize the cherry festival or visualize grandma and grandpa coming over or visualize, hey, I just want to let you know at the end of the semester, we're going to look at your grades and we're going to have a talk. And I need to see C's and above on all those classes. You don't have to study if you don't want to study. You're in high school. I'm not going to tell you to study. You don't want to do your homework, don't do it. It's up to you. This is your job, though. As a high school student, you've got to earn C's and above. And I got to tell you, if I open up your phone and if I see D's or F's on your Google School Classroom or at the end of the semester, if I don't see C's and above, there are going to be consequences, okay? And then what you do, here's point number 3. Point number 3, how do we thrive with no? One is we self-regulate ourselves, knowing that when our children says no to us, it's going to affect us. Number 2, we want to make empathetic limits our go-to, responding with empathy, validating what they want. Number 3, we invoke them into shared problem solving. Yes, even at age 3 and 4 years old, we say to them, I don't know what we should do. What do you think we should do? Even at age 4, you invoke their minds. Isn't that amazing? It works. And then if we have to, we try to not do this. We do natural consequences. Have you heard that term before? Yeah. You heard that? Okay. What do you think it means? Yeah, so it took me a long time. It took me 6 months to understand natural consequences, Jordan. Like researching, reading other parenting authors, mentors of mine. It means you match the consequence to the crime. So if they abuse screen time and they didn't come off when they said, or they didn't come off with a positive attitude, or if they didn't come to the dinner table, if you feel like it'd be helpful after you do these other tactics of talking with them, heart talking, if you feel like you can't get through to them, then part of the limit, empathetic limits, would be then you give them a consequence that's connected to the crime. So it would be a consequence connected to screen time. I wouldn't do that, but you could do that. Yeah. It'd be a consequence. Yeah. We're not going to focus on how to do consequences for all scenario, but you're right. It'd be connected to the crime, right? Right. So like grounding a child, which I think is ridiculous. It doesn't work, or a teenager, based on something that has to do with screens. You see how that doesn't connect? Right. Taking someone's screen away. Right. Someone disrespects you or calls you a name or, talks back at you. Why would you take their screen away? It has nothing to do with the screen. Right? Someone who's acting out with grandma and grandpa, why would you take the screen away? Here's the problem that we're kind of talking about. There's an elephant in the room, is that what many parents do now for discipline is that they use screens to discipline. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And if that works for you in your home, then keep going. But in my experience of working with your sons and daughters for 24 years, doing punishments around screens is not usually effective. I would say what, but then the parent should be like, yeah, like Sean, I know you love Madden. It's a big part of your life, right? I don't want to take Madden away. You love Madden. It's your jam, dude. You're good at it. You beat Jordan all the time. Sean, Madden football is a video game, right? But what I need to be able to trust you, son, that when you're on that game, you're making wise decisions, right? So since you made a bad decision with Madden, I feel that we need to take a break from Madden. I need to send a message to you that you're not entitled to Madden. And Madden's not important to this family. You know? I mean, we got a situation here where some kids, they don't want to shower. They don't want to cut their hair. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to go outside. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. But you're right. Sometimes it's not in there, which leads us to the last tip, which I think is the best tip and one of the most important things in all of parenting and no one talks about. What do you do if you can't find the natural consequence, right? That's what you're thinking. Well, first of all, that's very extreme. Well, then I can answer that question. Well, then they need to attend. Nicotine NA meetings, nicotine anonymous meetings. They need to take a class, online class, about the dangers of vaping. What do you do? What do you do if your child's a dude? There's some. That's old school. I wonder if she would have actually done it though. She was talking out of her butt. Dude, it's like Brewster's Millions movie. It's like there's a movie about that, about excessive punishment, right? But no, they're like one of the ways I help kids and help parents who have kids who are very defiant with drugs and alcohol is I help them create an in-home healing plan based on these teachings and structure and accountability. It's a strike system. But what do you do if your kid's abusing drugs? Well, there's a lot you can do. And one of the things you can do is you have them attend NA meetings, Narcotics Anonymous meetings. Natural consequence. If you want to do drugs, no one's going to stop you. I will not enable that in my house, though. And if you do want to live here, because I can't enable drugs in my house, one of the ways you can make it up to me and make things right is you've got to attend these NA meetings. Because if your child is abusing drugs, well, then wouldn't the natural consequence would be to go to NA meetings? It works. It took me like a long time to think that there is a natural consequence for pretty much like anything. It's just, you got to use your imagination sometimes, but it's not the most powerful consequence. As we wrap up our podcast, action step number 5, how did you respond to the no child or to just straight up lack of cooperation? If the heart talks don't work, if the empathy doesn't work, if the co-problem solving doesn't work, well then, yeah, you do, as a parent, you do have limits and you do have consequences. Can I describe to you this tool that I call the emotional consequence? It's very powerful. I think the emotional consequence is more effective, more loving. Please do, yeah. That's where we're going with this. This is where we're going. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Helping our kids see our humanity does not mean manipulating our kids, guilting our kids, making our kids feel shame. Emotional consequences means you opening your heart to your kid and helping them see how their actions hurt your heart and affected you and affected the relationship. And affected the trust, right? Here's some role playing, okay? I'll just do it by myself. Let me try to think of things I've actually said to my own children too. Hey, it really hurts. My 6-year-old has been hitting recently. And so I'll say, like, if she hits me, there's a lot of tools I've been using. We're trying to really help her. And she's very apologetic afterwards. She's really trying to not hit. But she's just a first grader. She's got a lot of emotions going on. She's a strong little girl. So I'll say, you know what? I don't know what to do. It's like, you keep hitting. I don't want to punish you, take your dolls away for you hitting. I don't know what to do. She's like, I know, Daddy, I'm sorry. I was like, I just feel sad that you're hitting me. It hurts my feelings. It's hard. Okay. And then she might hide her face. She might, cry. She might apologize. Or what she does say is, I really will try harder. I'm trying harder. I don't want to hit you. That's what she'll say. Hey, I don't know what to do here. What do you mean? Well, because I've asked you to empty the garbage twice. Okay, I know. I'll get it. I'm just busy. I'm busy. Right, but can we have a chat about this? Yeah, what? I feel really confused when you don't empty the garbage, clean the cat box, empty the dishwasher. I feel really confused when you talk to your sibling like that. What do you mean? Why do you feel confused? It's so confusing to me because I don't really know what to say sometimes. Like, do I yell at you? Do I punish you? Do I pep talk you? It affects me so much when you talk to your sibling that way. I don't know what to do. Now we're engaging them in our humanity and in the co-problem solving. What do you think about this, or what fears or concerns or do you like about what you're seeing here? Hey, can I talk to you real quick? Yeah. What's up, Dad? I didn't really say anything in the moment, but the way you talked to me yesterday, it really hurt. It really hurt my feelings. Oh, okay, Dad, I'm sorry. I was just busy. I was stressed at the time. Right. I know you were. I know. I took a time out and I thought, like, why was she talking to me this way? I figured you were going through something. I didn't make it about me. Right. Okay. Dad, I didn't mean to. I know, but I want to let you know it really it like affects me. I'm like trying to have a good time at the cherry festival. I know it's not our favorite place to be, but it's hard. I really hate it when my kids talk to me that way. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you for saying I'm sorry, but that doesn't really help me feel any better. What else do you want me to do? So now we're emotion coaching them in the arts of reconciliation, the arts of an apology. I think I don't know, having gentleness in how you talk to me would be nice. Empathy. Can you show me some empathy? Okay. I mean, I show you a lot of empathy. I feel like I've modeled empathy. Do you know what empathy is? Yeah. Okay. Will you show me some empathy right now? That would really help me feel better. Okay. Okay, Dad, I can see you don't like it when I talk to you that way. I know it's really hard for you. You're a good dad and you don't you don't like being talked to that way. I don't either. And so I can see that must have been really hard for you. And I want you to know I really will work harder when I feel stressed. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. Thank you. I do feel a lot better. And hey, let's go get some freaking cherry pie right now, okay? So see, the emotional consequences might mean something like this. Hey, can I do some role playing with me? Say to me, no, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. And then that's your first line. And your second line, I'll cue you up is, hey, can you drive me to my soccer practice? Ready? Hey, hey, can we talk about what just happened and how you're talking to me? Is okay? Okay, that's fine. We don't need to talk now. But when can we talk? Okay. So we're just gonna what? Hold on here. Okay. So you don't want to talk, but you want me to take you to soccer. Is that what you're saying? Right. All right, but help me understand this here because I want to talk to you, which is something I want, because I want to talk about, what just happened because it hurt my feelings. And you don't want to care for my feelings, but you want me to care for your feelings by driving you to soccer. Right, but this doesn't make sense to me because soccer is important, but family is important too. Right. Okay. So can we do this? Can I drive you to soccer? And can we please talk about this after soccer later tonight? Would that work for you? Okay. We have a deal? Okay. Because Jordan, if you were to drive this child to soccer without any type of kindness, reconciliation, remorse, you'd be sending this child a lot of messages about you, about soccer, about your feelings, and about really what's most important in your home, right? So I'm not trying to manipulate a child by not taking them to soccer. Like, yeah, if they want to go to soccer, I'm going to go through and take them to soccer. But let's say that this child then doesn't talk to me after soccer. Let's say they go back on their deal. And then they come up to you the next day and say, hey, Dad, can you make me a ham sandwich? Go ahead, ask me. Okay, now watch. Are you gonna move on? Because I know you want to move on. I know parents want to move on. Are you gonna move on and sweep it under the rug and dehumanize yourself? Pretend like everything's fine. And if you do that, you're sending a message that in this home, soccer is more important than the family. Parents have no feelings. Parents are robots. There's no need for any type of healing. In this family, parents show empathy to kids, but kids don't show any empathy to parents. And in this family, we don't do shared problem solving. We move on because kids don't want to problem solve. And in this home, kids are the most important thing. This is the kid-centric home, and we're moving on because soccer is important and ham sandwiches. Or you could say this, I'd love to make you a ham sandwich, but can we talk first? Yeah, I'd love to talk about what happened before soccer yesterday. No, son, no, daughter. Like, that was pretty big deal for me, the way you talked to me. And, I moved on by taking to soccer, but I'd prefer us to talk and patch things up, and then I would feel more comfortable making you a ham sandwich. Then they will. In very extreme situations, they will. And then you just wait. You wait. Because the next day, the kid's going to come, go ahead, ask me for a ride to soccer. Hey, you know what? I've been waiting 3 days to have this talk. You're not grounded for soccer. I don't feel comfortable driving to soccer. But you got friends. You can call your friends and get a ride there. Go for it. Most children won't go, like in very extreme situations, most children will not go more than 6 days without saying, okay, fine, let's talk. Let's talk. Right? I think what we're really speaking to as we wrap up this podcast is some parents are really bad with consequences, which is limits. They don't want to give consequences. They don't know how, or they're just giving groundings or yellings or pep talks or taking screens away. What I've given you here too is, if needed, with your no child, here are 2 healthy, creative ways to do consequences. One is natural consequences. Have it match up. If your child does not do well in school because they're abusing screens, well, look at the screens. If your child is not doing well with relationships, family, because of screens, look at the screens. If your child is struggling because their diet is crappy, because the food they're eating, well, look at the food. If your child is really abusing something, well, look at that thing and step in and be the parent. But you've got to humanize yourself in this process by helping to see how this painful behavior is affecting you in a very normal, loving, non-manipulative way. Thank you for this. And I hope we realize that our no's, though we hear from our kids, Jordan, they're a good thing. They help us to grow. They help us to be more loving, more caring. So I'm thankful for my 3 challenging daughters. That's my attitude of gratitude. I'm thankful that they are not easy kids. I do have one who's easier than the other 2, but they have not been easy kids. I'm thankful because it helps me to be the man that I want to be, and they are like my blessing. And their attitude, their bad attitudes, their bad behavior is such a gift because it's helped me to see them, to be close with them, and to parent them. What are you thankful for? Is there anything you want to end with your attitude of gratitude? Oh. Wow. No way. What a story. Dude, send me I want to see. Post that on your Instagram so we and anyone can and can see that post picture. Do you feel comfortable doing that? Can you put it on your Instagram? Okay, so in your Instagram is, tell everyone your Instagram. TV's Jordan Steele. I'm going to go there. Is it up there right now? Okay, you're posting it. It will be up when this podcast is shared in a couple weeks. Much love to you all.